Okay, it's the morning after. We had a great Zoom meet last night here, the abstract show. And was really interesting hearing what was behind the pieces because they're abstracts and sometimes you need a little bit of a key to it. It's not something that is readily apparent. And then looking on Artsy and seeing them on a screen too, I saw some really different ones that were very clearly something, but when you're there next to them, because they're large, they're very abstract. Anyway, this afternoon will be August 13th, 6 p.m. Live meet, and probably tomorrow morning too. I just found my tachikoma. I call this my tachikoma. I threw my back out recently. It's a little bit better. About 3 days ago. These things you can put on pressure points on your back. Sacroiliac and gluteus maximus and medialis attach and all of that. And just bridges both of them. Yeah, and tachikoma, I call it a tachikoma because it looks like the little things in Ghost in the Shell. The little robots that are so cute, and they went off and had a little revolution. And they're very gentle, sweet things. Okay. So I talked a little bit about this last night. Oh, the abstract of this is on hold. It's going to go into the pet show. So now I'm back to, I want this whole suite at least to go into the bad pet portrait show, but because it's going to show how you can develop things out of an initial response, and as well the things that you develop can inform your initial response. It sure does look like Sam Hugan. Okay. So I just wetted everything up and went on a search for this. I thought I had lost it, and then I found it. I was going to come back and say, well, welcome to my world. I lost something that was sitting right there. And welcome to my world. I thought I lost something that was sitting right there. It doesn't make any difference. I don't know. I'm kind of on vacation today. I'm going to go down for GW Pop. And then I'm going to mosey on over to the gallery. Take a look at all the things up close and see the people that we saw last night. And then mosey on home. Rinse and repeat. All right. This is shaping up nicely. I was going to work on it last night, and I'm real glad I didn't. I can see this so much more clearly. Okay. Oh, I think I may have talked about this once before. I don't want smaller detail one. What did I do with it? This is a size. This is also series 7. Might be a size aught, could be double or triple aught. I had a car accident I know how long ago, like in the 1970s, and it cut the tendon in my thumb. And for detail work, I mean, these are fine like this. I can manage this, but you know, I hold it like a Chinese brush. I don't have a lot of control, and these would just roll out of my hand. So my great happiness in Chinese brushes comes with these. They're thicker and they're the same size all along, and they have very nice sable, and they're lightweight as well, and they don't roll out of my hand, and I can hold them like a Chinese brush or a Western brush and have the control that I need, although I have to make adjustments with my thumb. Okay, these are all, here they are. These are all series 7, and then this is a series 3A, a size 6. And this is a series 7, size 7, size 4, size 10, and size 12. I introduced this one before. I said it was like 100 years old. It's not 100 years old. It's, well, maybe it is. It could have been made prior to World War II. And it could have been made immediately following World War II. Well, they're made in England. And I should get in touch with the Winsor Newton factory and see how they were doing during the war. They are under a royal warrant, so I think that's so wonderful. But that's why this is the best brush. I mean, it's so beautifully made and so much fun to work with. All right. It's fun. It's an honor, actually. And pleasure. Okay. This looks like it needs some kind of major remodeling, but no, maybe not. There's more going on off the page. I want to work on the face a little. After doing that cubist one, I am a little bolder with blocking in areas and not worrying so much about the shape of them before I do that. And yellow. I'm often repeating myself, but I might as well. Not everybody watches every single video. Yellow. This is yellow ochre. Is the most coarsely ground of all the pigments. I mean, that's the way it grinds down. It doesn't grind as finely as the others. So because of that, it tends to float on top. And there's nothing wrong with that. And in a thin wash, that's how I start my paintings. I'll start with a yellow ochre line or cerulean blue. And it doesn't pick up even though it's down there first. But if you want a lot of it, you put it on last because it is more coarsely ground and floats to the top more. And since it floats to the top more, when you go to paint over it, it will pick up. It's the only one that does that. Well, maybe some of the other earth ones do, but the yellows in general do. Well, it looks good. I'm working on crisping up some lines here now because I've got so much going on. You notice too that I'm balancing myself. My hands are always very clean. My fingernails might have a bunch of paint or something under them, but they're generally clean, and not oily. And part of that is because I handle my art stuff all the time, and books and so on. Although I've got cats and I pet my cats and I don't wash my hands every time I pet them. But nonetheless, my hands are generally very clean, or definitely clean when I sit down to do a painting. And yeah, I just washed and bleached a bunch of stuff out in the kitchen. So I will balance my hand, and usually it's right on the edge of my fingernail, on my little finger. And I think I showed before, sometimes I'll be way back and I'll balance my hand like so for some things. And some people, there's a, I guess it's called a crutch, I don't know. Little stand, maybe it's like my tachikoma here, that you can rest your hand on like this to steady it. Okay, so I'm just, okay, this is all wet, and just little by little I'm adding pigment. Might do it with layers, but right now I've done so much. Now, I'd like to go into here, but I know I can't right now. Because that little bit of yellow is wet. I can go through here without touching it. I just wiped it on the towel. I didn't take any color or anything out. This is really touchy here. Uh-oh. Right, I've just got to bring his ear in closer to his head. That's fine. All right, leave it alone. I kind of want to stay here and work on this. All right, I'm adding this green because I want to bring the color up. It's kind of muddy. And it's actually a mix of a yellow green here. It's going to become olive green when it goes on top of here. But I was just talking about color picking up. None of this color is going to pick up, see? I'm bringing back the olive green. Of this shirt. Oh, that reminds me, there's some turquoise in here I want to put in too. Oh, Terra Verta. I should open that one up. Okay, there's that. All right, where's that turquoise? Turquoise. I use cerulean. dropped a little bit of liquid, which is pigment and water. Wiped off the hair. No, the hair's still there. There. Right, and then that turquoise chair is over here too. All right, that looks good. Just gonna leave it like that. I don't know, everything got stretched out somewhere, but that's okay. And again, go back to video number 1. It doesn't have this right next to it. It just is out of the blue. I kept it off. Oh, I didn't have a picture. I just had the camera, and I kept having to go back and turn it back on. And so it wasn't as easy. Sometimes I would be all ready to go over with what I was looking at there to go here, and the camera would turn off, and then I turn it back on and lose my train of thought. So this works. I'll just leave this to dry. Because like I said, I'm working on crisping things up. Oh. Well, see, now his neck actually is straighter, but doing this gives it some more of what it needs. You know, it's not really on that much of an angle, but it needs to be. Oh yeah, and there's that great S-curve too. Well, let's pop this in too. Put a little bit of color in there last night. It's number 4. And so there should be 5 pieces altogether. Well, there was another one in my head too, which was reducing that even farther down to just the geometric components. I sure do love working in watercolor. It's so pretty. I'll do a little bit more of a wash here. So that's not showing yet. Oh my goodness. I thought it wasn't taping. I was going to say, welcome to my world once again. Okay, this looks good. I'm going to let it dry. Protecting my whites. It's impressionistic. Bringing up whites where I accidentally covered them. Like I needed white in here. All of this was down too far. So anyway, brought those out. Like I said, rather than putting in whites, work from light to dark. And if you've lost your lights, you can go a little bit darker next to them, or on top of something that's darker than you want it, and it can give the impression of being light. Like that almost looks white right there, but it isn't. It's fairly dark. It's as dark as those. Impressionism. Okay, I'm gonna stop this here. By the way, I am a very slow painter, I noticed. I mentioned this on my last video. I watched a video and I put it up to double speed. First I put it up like half time again, and then I put it up 1.5 times, and then I put it up to double time. And they look kind of like a normal speed. So I really am some kind of a great ground sloth. All right. I'm going to be heading down to the beach, I think. Let this dry for the day. And I probably won't work on it again till tomorrow.